Waruti. Asanteni sana. Yeah, on stage because
Dagi nampeleka sana huko.
Do it for the brand. I'd like you to put your hands together and stand up and give a standing ovation and round of applause for the winner in this category. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toyota Land Cruiser.
It's great to see and hear more about the products that we as distributors are bringing into the market, and also looking at the view of the consumers. More or less, as Toyota Kenya, we say we are customer oriented. We love to hear what the customers say, and today, hearing about our models, it's quite a great honor. And also, we feel very greatly appreciated to hear that the Kenyan mass really love our product in as much. Also, to live by the word that the car in front is always a Toyota. So thank you very much, and also to thank the Kenyan masses.
Now, this is our first and inaugural Cheki Car Awards. The reason we have these awards is that we want to create interest around car buying and selling. We have been collecting a lot of information in this regard, so we know what buyers are looking for when they're wanting to offload their cars, and we know what buyers are looking for when they want to buy, and what sellers are looking for when they want to sell. So this was mainly aimed to be an informative kind of award, but also to recognize the players who are doing a very good job in the local market. Yes, both used and new car dealerships. Traditionally, we have been asking relatives or somebody as a friend close to you to recommend a car, but then the research done is not, it's time consuming. And a lot of people don't invest too much time in terms of research. For example, people factor in the cost of buying a car, but they don't factor in the cost of running the car from month to month. So that makes that should go towards you making a decision in regards to what kind of car you're buying. Does it fit into my budget? Am I able to afford it? How reliable is it in terms of durability? All these things, and this is what we were trying to inform with our judges. Especially, I think we had a really well-informed team speak in that regard. I think it informs them because we have had the voting open. The votes were our public speaking. We have over 300,000 unique visits a month that come to our site. This is a lot of people coming to look at cars. So we can say that we have solid information in regards to what it is that they're looking for. So how to inform? This is a really great tool to use to decide what kind of cars should they be having in the market. Who should they be talking to? What kind of marketing, for example, should they be giving out in terms of what are they selling to our public?
This is, as you mentioned, is the first event that has ever been held. And it's very interesting that this is empowering people who are intending to buy vehicles or potential vehicle buyers to be able to make a choice by having knowledge before, making a choice. So this is great, and I would say that awareness is very important, and knowledge is very important. You don't make mistakes. You don't become a guinea pig, and getting to get to an area where you don't understand. So what needs to happen is for people to get engaged with Cheki, so they can be able to have knowledge of what kind of a car to buy. We know very many Kenyans now everybody wants to have a car. Yeah, and it's only good that they're able to buy a car that's really going to be beneficial to them. Straight go to my specialty, the public transport, or PSV, public service vehicles, which are haunted by, that they were initially made in Japan, and no much safety features were put in place because they're goods vehicles as opposed to having passengers to travel in them. That notwithstanding, we would want to say that the Kenyan government has put in speed limits, and in most cases you realize that crashes on our roads as a result of overspeeding. Hence the reason why the government introduced speed governors to be able to have control, and when a vehicle is traveling at 80 and there could be any incident or accident, you can easily, the impact would not be as much as when somebody is doing more than the speed that has been prescribed by the law. So safety features is very important, and the reason why even PSV there was introduction of seat belts was to hold the passenger rather than being held by an impact, to be held on the seat. And in any movement, we know very well, especially using vehicles or cars, safety features very important. And we know this will be an extra cost because we know some vehicles don't have airbags, and on the sides could be only from the front side, but this would go with the affordability. We know that every vehicle is tailored towards certain costs. Definitely it would, but the manner in which it's being done, one thing is that Kenyans are very aggressive, and what it requires is the platform to be provided as opposed of business being taken over. So there is the licensing regime, which is in Kenya, has some rules and regulations that one has to adhere to. Like, no vehicle will just, have a license that would permit them to traverse every part of the country. So we ain't against this kind of technology, but what we have to do is it shouldn't have to be an advantage towards snatching people's businesses. All in all, what we would say is that if it was introduced, it would still be able to function within the matatu sector, but not introduction that would have the up arm of those who are doing business presently. We don't want stifling. We don't want anybody to be thrown out of business, but somehow we embrace technology. It can be introduced, a platform can be introduced, as opposed to introducing it as a new setup of doing business. We have rules and regulations that have been put in place by the National Transport and Safety Authority. So if it has to be applied the same way, then we have no quarrel. If everybody has got to obey and be compliant with the rules and regulations governing the operations, then be it. There's lots of congestion in the city, and to even use digitalized way, you'll still be held up in traffic snarls. And one best way is probably to have a system that can provide a dedicated lane. So hence the government has introduced a new system of bus rapid transit to be able to remove most vehicles from the road and allow reliable public transport to give services from one destination to the other. There's no need to get stuck in traffic for 2 hours as opposed to having 15 minutes to get to your destination. One is that what we want to encourage is that there should be proper investment in park and ride positions from destinations so that people can drive their personal vehicles to park and ride positions and jump into BRT, which will cost less and will be reliable and affordable and reduce congestion in the city, which is almost coming to a halt.